Alright guys, so this is video number 2. We're going to go through how to remove and replace the derby cover on an 04 and up Sportster. We're going to get started with what tools you're going to need and then roll right into the process of removing the derby cover. So, first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to level the bike out. This can be done by either putting it on a wheel chock or by putting a piece of wood, 2x4, something under the side stand to level the bike out a little bit. What this does is it mitigates the loss of fluid from the primary cover when you remove the derby cover itself. If you have MIG controls like I do, you're going to want to remove the left hand foot peg, and that is done in order to get to that bolt right there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the foot peg, and then we'll go right into removing the derby cover. Alright, so we're going to set the foot peg aside, and we're going to move on to the derby cover. So for the derby cover, you want to remove it in the same sequence that you would install it, which is star pattern. This is because there's a little spring back there that will come off or pop out if you don't. So we're going to pull it off and then we'll show you the inside. And then it pops off just like that. And you see there's a little bit of fluid, but not that much. Alright, so the next step is going to be to go and wipe the mating surface from residual primary fluid, if any, and to inspect the little O-ring that goes around. You're going to want to make sure it has no nicks, cuts, tears, or gouges in it. Otherwise, it could result in the loss of primary fluid. Next, you can go and take a screw and go ahead and put it in to hold the new primary cover up. For the rest of the screws, you're going to want to take your blue Loctite and just dab a little bit on it. This is to help keep everything tight when you go to torque it down. Alright, so the book calls out for a torque of 90 to 120 inch-pounds. I went ahead and set it right in the middle at 105, and again, you're going to want to torque in the star pattern that you used to install it. And there we go. Next, we're going to move on to the installation of the foot peg. Again, you're going to want to go and throw a little blue Loctite onto the end of the screws, and this is just to, again, to prevent them from rattling their way out. So now onto the torque for the foot peg. Again, they recommend 40 to 50 foot-pounds of torque for the foot peg, so I'll set it right in the middle at 45. And there you go. That was the installation of the derby cover. Alright guys, that pretty much sums up the derby cover installation. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm still new at this vlogging thing, so any advice, tips, tricks you can give would be greatly appreciated. I also wanted to sit down and talk with you for the reason that I chose the Wounded Warrior derby cover over the many that are out there. This one kind of hit home with me. If you can't tell by the haircut, I'm in the service, specifically in the Marine Corps. And early on in my career, I was injured in garrison, which means I was injured in the States. And the closest hospital that could treat the injury was in Portsmouth, Virginia, so I had to travel a little bit to be seen by the doctor. He went made a plan to get me back to doing what Marines do. And a few weeks before my surgery, I was contacted by the Wounded Warrior office in Portsmouth, Virginia, to see if I need any assistance with family coming down for aftercare or their lodging, offset some of the costs. Luckily, my family was using it as a vacation to come up and get away from the day-to-day work, daily life type deal. And my wife, fiance at the time, her family lived about an hour from Portsmouth. So we had all of our bases covered as far as where we were staying, things like that. But the fact that they offered this service to me, even though my injury was not combat related, still speaks volumes. This is just my experience with the program, and there are also several other programs out there that are similar and do great things. One of them being the Semper Fi Fund. It is a Marine-founded organization that help service members that are critically ill or disabled transition from military life to back to civilian life. Trains them to deal with the transition as well as some of the hurdles that they might have to overcome. Two organizations that are self-funded at the moment are, one is Chris Beatty in Woodbridge, Virginia. He owns and operates Semper Canine. He takes rescue dogs, dogs from the shelter, or rescue puppies, and trains them to be service animals for injured veterans or veterans that have some sort of PTS or TBI. Does really good things with them. Another individual is Jason Zeidman out of Crown Point, Indiana. He owns and operates Operation Combat Bike Saver. He takes veterans, again, with TBI or PTS or disabilities and helps them to build bikes, helps them to do something with their hands, use the philosophy of if you're working with your hands, it takes your mind off of other things that might be troubling you and puts you into a positive headspace. I'm going to link all of their websites below. Go take a look, maybe donate a little bit, but they're all good works. Thanks for watching.